I've kind of been always pretty fortunate. You know, I've always played dynamic gold S300s, but
how'd you end up in dynamic golds?
I mean, I think it was just, you know, the technology wasn't really there, so it was more just feel and doing that. But obviously, you know, I consistently hit the ball very well, so it was a little bit easier for me to find that.
Well, it's something,
but, you know, a lot of guys obviously don't hit it that great, so you know, I think this system is great because it actually gives you feedback.
This is a standard 6-iron, and what it is it has strain gauges, an accelerometer, and a microprocessor built in. So you'll take a swing, and it's going to measure how that shaft loads and unloads. And from a number of swings, we can then plug in the numbers and see what shafts we'd recommend you for.
All right, let's see if I'm correct.
Hold that, hit go, and give it a swing. Nice swing there. We can check out the numbers right here. 90 miles an hour, 4.355. And we'll have you hit 2 more of those.
4.355, that doesn't mean much to me.
It doesn't. Really what that is measuring is it's measuring how that shaft is loading and unloading. The first number is your tempo on a scale of 1 to 10. So you're a 4, which puts you in your smooth tempo. Usually someone who's pretty smooth, you're known for that. Right. So a smooth swinger, you can handle a little bit lighter shaft and you can get a little bit more power with it. Okay. The next numbers are the toe down, which is how much the shaft bends down in the swing, and followed by the kick angle, which is how much it bends forward, and finally the release factor, which is where you're releasing it.
Okay.
See this one?
91, I'm getting faster.
Getting a little bit faster. 91 miles per hour, 4.345. And we'll get you to do one more.
Was that the same, 4.345?
It was very close. And finally?
92.
92.
4.355.
Okay.
Consistencies were good, right?
It is. So you can come take a look right here. And we've graphed your numbers, and you can see you land right on top of Luke Donald, which that's good. So from here, we'll view our recommendations. And what it says is actually that you should be in, our initial recommendation for a starting point would be a Dynamic Gold X1 soft stepped.
Pretty close to S300, which I use.
You're playing S3 right now?
Yeah.
So what we do in the typical fitting process is we'd go through, we'll have you hit an X1 as well as hit an S3, since you're landing right in between those, and see which ball flight really puts it in that trajectory window that you'd like, and which one would, you know, suits your eye and has the ball coming in on the angle you'd like it to.
Yeah, maybe I'll try a slightly stiffer shaft.
Right, exactly. So next we would grab these 2 shafts. And I'm going to grab an MP59 for you.
Oh, this is a nice little setup.
Yeah, it's completely interchangeable, which is nice. So we've got all our heads and all our different head weights. We've got A weight, B weight, which is for overlength shafts, as well as graphite. So you can build it up and it'll be a proper swing weight for you when you hit it.
Nice.
So it's a really simple system. Right now we've got the S300 built up in the 59. You can give that a swing, and we can compare that trajectory with that of the X1. You can see how it looks.
So this is S300.
This is an
what
S300
I play right now.
Correct.
Yeah, I guess why go to S300? It gives me a little bit more chance to move it around slightly.
Right.
The stiffer it is, those long irons are going to be a little bit lower.
Exactly. It's going to come off with a little less spin, and you won't be able to do quite as much. Ball there. Now we can throw the X1 on and kind of see how it compares with it.
Okay.
What's great about the new system is it allows you to take all the variables out. Because it's the exact same head going on the other shaft, you know there's no variance from head to head, so it's strictly the shaft difference that we're measuring. It's ready to go.
It's quick. It's obviously a windy day today, so it's a little hard to tell, but
right.
They felt pretty similar. I mean, there wasn't a huge amount of difference there.
Well, and like you said, because from your trial and error, you put yourself in a bending profile that's going to work well for you. And that's really what the shaft optimizer does, is it picks out, how that shaft is going to flex the proper way for you. It's got tip stiffness that suits your golf swing. Right. And that's why even going up an entire flex from an S to an X, it still has the feel you're used to.
Right.
So it's just fine-tuning the spin rates.
So they look like they spun about the same amount.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice ball there. So if you want to take a look here, we can now overlay those two clubs and check out the differences. You can see with the top one is the S3, the bottom is the X1. Okay. You can see you actually got a little bit higher launch angle out of the S3, which you'd expect because as an S3 it's a little bit softer, the tip's going to be a little bit weaker, it's going to throw the ball in the air a bit more.
Right.
So it launched a little bit higher and actually carried a little bit further for you. So the X1 maybe a bit more penetrating, so it's not going to quite have that same angle of descent coming in.
Right. It's not a lot in it, but obviously, I guess I got to #1 in the world by not playing the wrong shaft.
Right, exactly. You figured out what you needed to. The beauty of this is it just helps the average guy really get dialed right down into the right one very simply.
Yeah. Why don't we try a shaft that's way out, something that's not even close to where I am, just to compare the numbers.
It'll be a fun experiment because a lot of people will buy,
some people, might not believe that.
Right. Well, dynamic gold is a standard in our MP line. When you see a lot of the game improvement clubs, they'll come with really lightweight, really tip soft shafts. Right. So if someone were just to grab one right off the shelf, thinking that was the right shaft for them, they could be way off. Right. So we'll have you grab one of those, a similar shaft to that. So we'll get you a soft tip, lightweight shaft, and kind of, even though this is still an S flex shaft, this is going to be probably a little bit too light for you and a little bit too tip soft.
Okay.
So we'll look at the trajectory and how that compares to a properly fit shaft.
All right.
There we go.
All ready?
Ready.
It's kind of floating in the air, wasn't it?
Yeah, the spin rate's extremely high. Give it one more and then we can compare those.
A little better that one, but the first one definitely got spinning in the air.
Yeah, as a good player, you of course are going to learn to adapt for your second swing, of course. So if we're going to compare that shaft, which is a soft-tipped, lightweight shaft, to the dynamic gold that you're playing. And first thing you'll see right away is the ball speed dropped off. Even though it's lighter weight, a lot of people think if you go light, you're going to hit it further, you're going to have more ball speed. But if it doesn't time with your swing right, then you could actually lose ball speed.
1,000 more RPM spin.
Yeah, that's the huge one. It's because the bending profile doesn't line up with you. That tip is too soft, so you're getting too much tip action. It's launching high and spinning high, which is a deadly combo, especially if you're hitting into a headwind like we are today. So you can see because of that, it came down almost 8 yards shorter than your other one, even though it's lighter weight, same flex. So that really shows how bending profile is very important, and it's key to getting in a proper fitting is to get the proper bending profile.
And if I got mad, I'd probably break this one a lot easier.
You probably could, much easier.
All right, that's a cool little gadget. I think that'd be helpful for a lot of people.